Good morning, guten Morgen, wie geht's euch alle? How are you all doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. Actually got started, roughly at 5. Also um 5 Uhr sind wir aufgestanden. Ist wunderbar, wunderbar. Rise and grind, baby, rise and grind. Oh Mensch, mir tut alles weh. Was machen wir denn heute? Na, komm. Mein Computer spielt ein bisschen verrückt. Und so, jetzt sind wir fertig. Now we're done. Jetzt sind wir fertig. Hoffentlich seid ihr alle gut beieinander und ihr versteht mich. Wenn nicht, bitte sagt was. Okay. Ninja Time. So, was haben wir denn für ein... Es geht schon. Schulter, so, über den Kopf, Arme, oder wir können sehen, wie ich immer, so, Schulter und dann Arm, wir machen es dann, dass es doch hoch geht, so, die rechten Seiten. 4 und Rotation. Ups. Oh, das ist eine linke Hand. Also geht das da. That's probably why. Das schaut schon viel besser aus. Okay. Also dann... Was geht dann? So, das müssen wir natürlich ein bisschen ändern. Dann geht das so auf der Schulter weiter. So. Den Teil ein bisschen kleiner machen. Das hier ist sein Schwert zusammenbringen. Zack, ein bisschen. Bisschen weiter haben will. Ein bisschen größer ausschaut. Ja, also wird er doch noch ein bisschen kleiner. Okay, so. Jetzt haben wir es. Glaube ich, wenigstens. Okay. Zeichnen. Tut mir leid. Eyebrows, Augen daher. Gesicht. Die kommt doch ein bisschen raus. So. So. Später. Oh, das ist heiß. Sehr heiß. Sehr, sehr heiß. Hart, hart, hart. Wie gesagt, guten Morgen. Alle, good morning. Hoffentlich geht's euch gut. So. Ja, Ninja-Style. So, Kopf. Dann komm jetzt. Zack. Okay, und jetzt machen wir dann noch eins. Den machen wir dann nicht so stark. Ein bisschen weniger. Ja. What's up, Mark? Nice to have you. How was work? This will be coming across here. You working that graveyard shift's got hurt. New character, yeah, Patreon character. With me starting a new job, everything's kind of fell behind, which is always fun. So over the next weeks, I gotta catch up on all my Patreon stuff. Luckily, nobody's after me. Like, oh, you didn't do this. Like, yeah, because I get my stickers out. I think that's kind of, for me at least, one of the big things. Like, oh, at least I got my stickers out. So, gotta finish this character, then I gotta finish the character select character, and then I'm probably gonna get a new one, so I should have 4 characters by the end of this month at least, but I need to start doing characters for for the actual site. But I think, you know, before I was like, oh, I'm gonna make it so that it's only Ninja Empire and blah blah blah. But I think gonna record it, but I think we're just gonna have to deal with the fact that this is how I'm getting these characters done. So when I pump it over to YouTube, they're just gonna have to deal with the fact that there's an overlay and stuff like that. So I'll just have to preference it with come watch me over on Twitch to catch it live and stuff like that, because I'm just not able to get this to people in time. I mean, in addition, you know what I mean? So I'm drawing them here. This should be where everyone catches, you know, it's just the way it is. Like, I'm running out of time. There's only so much of me that I can actually do, So, you know, it's just one of those ones where I'm starting to realize that I might be burning the candle on both ends, and I'm gonna need to find some way to minimize that, because I don't want to burn out. Gotta recognize that fast and early, not trying to burn out. Which one do I want to do? I think we're gonna... There's the hand. 1, 2, 3. Right, and then we'll come here, give it a little forearm thing. Right, so it's there. You're getting burned out of it. No, not at all. But I'm doing a lot of stuff when it comes to just work. All right, like schoolwork, and then trying to do 5 tips, trying to do is it worth it, you know. And the thing is like I don't want to burn out, right? Like I don't want to cut myself too thin and then be like, I guess Ninja Empire is where I'm gonna, you know, like I'm gonna take my solace in not having to do because it's my own project, and I don't want that. So, yeah, just want to have a little bit more fun and turn down my music. There we go. And yeah, I just need I need to plan better. I need to make sure I get this right. He looks good. And the thing is that it has absolutely nothing to do with like me not having the time. It's me procrastinating, and I really need to get a handle on that, right? Because I will wait until the last second to get stuff done, you know, trying to convince myself, oh, you work best under pressure. It's not that. I'm lazy. I want to do other things, which I think is, you know, natural. You know, you kind of want to do your own thing all the time. And so I'm just like, I don't want to do that. You're like, maybe not. No, I don't want to do that. And so I'm just trying to make sure that I don't do too much stupid, and then everything suffers. So I'm trying to nip that in the bud now, right before it actually becomes a problem. And, you know, with me starting new class, or starting a new school, and then it's like, oh my goodness, there's so much work that had to go into prep that I'm still not really even done. And the problem was that there wasn't a lot of time that was given to me to do it. So it's just one of those ones where I'm like, oh wow, I did nothing on that. Okay. Just not a lot of time to do all the things that I want. And once I get a nice, even, steady flow, everything will be fine. So, just working. As someone who's very familiar with burnout, you approach should avoid that. Personal projects always seem to help with that. Yeah, that's mostly why I like it, because I can always come back and have solace in the fact that I'm going to be working on Ninja Empire. So that's always been a big thing for me. Always loved it. So, well, always loved it, when we started. But now once I say I have the first select screen, and I think I'm gonna have just a ton of characters, like extra characters that I probably won't even be using, because oh, come on, Photoshop, you can do better lines than that. There we go. Because of my Patreon and the fact that I get 2 characters out of Patreon every month, so because of that, I know I'm gonna have a lot of characters. Whoops. But what I want is to get the first, get my first select screen done, and then start working on like poses and move sets. Like I really want to get into move sets, and start working on the animation, like just some basic animations to get a feel for the flow of how I think Ninja Empire would look, because I know I'm not an animator, but if I can actually show an animator what I'm talking about, like this is kind of what I'm going for, that would be the most ideal, right? And that's what I've always prided myself in doing when I'm like, oh, I'm the idea guy, because a lot of people want to be the idea guy, right? But I'm like, I'm the idea guy, and then when I go, all right, well, this is what I'm talking about, and then there's someone who just has a better grasp on the style or the technique or something like that, they come in and be like, all right, cool, I got you, and they make what I've shown them even better. That's what I'm always looking for. So since I know I'm gonna be I'm trying my hand at animation, we're gonna make that happen, right? So that's where I'm at. I want to get these movesets done. I have to draw the main character, for crying out loud. I haven't drawn the main character in this new style yet. That's a big shame. It's a big shame. Yeah, art director. Yeah. And that's the thing, like I've done art direction, right? And I have to say it's pretty much like teaching, right? You're overseeing a whole bunch of people, and you're like, all right, no, not that way, do it this way. Doing critiques, making sure that everything gets to where you need it to. And what's funny is because I actually have art direction cred that does not belong to, me and my company. And when I go to apply to I applied to some video game companies before I landed on this other job. And, they're like, oh, well, you haven't shipped this. Like everything was very specific at that point. Like, oh, well, you didn't ship this, so you can't be the art director. I was like, oh, well, okay. But it's never really stopped me. And I plan on, like, this will be a good one when it's like, who did all this? I'm like, oh yeah, that was me. I did everything again. You know, with Dark Legacy, it was like, I did everything. They're like, everything? I'm like, pretty much. I mean, but I always gave credit to the people who helped me out, because, geez, that was a lot to do. Very helpful to my friends who were like, you look like hell. Let us help you. So now all I'm trying to do is get back on track. Especially now that I have new students, you know, who have never ever seen me before. I gotta prove to them. It's like, yes, this is what we're doing. This is what you can do. This is what you should be doing. You know, and they're like, well, I'm just a student. I'm like, yeah, well, I wish I had a teacher who, you know, was like, look, you need to be doing this and that. Because even though I loved my experience at SCAD, there were some things that could have been done differently, both on their part and my part. But I would do it all over again. I absolutely would. One of the main reasons why I keep sending students to the Savannah College of Art and Design. It's expensive, but if you can afford it, especially now, like, they've really upped their game as far as being an institution of higher art, I think. So I recommend people go in there all the time. If you can afford it, go to SCAD. The connections you make there are insane. Especially now. Alright, because they've established themselves. They're like, we are the Ivy League of art, you know? So lots of companies go there, lots of professionals go there to give their expertise. Just it's cool. You know, if I could afford it, I would probably go back to school. Yeah. Mostly for the environment. I can understand that. It's like having a studio that, you know is gonna, it's like, you know that you're gonna have a group of people that are there, hopefully, depending on where you go, for the same reasons you are. All right, and then that way you can actually grow. And I think that's what's important. You know, most people don't utilize the school system as much as they could, and they're just like, oh, I came here for, you know, I get away from my parents for the first time, it's gonna be a great experience. And you're like, that's cool and all, but if there's some people who, you know, get the most out of college, and those guys, you're just like, geez, how did you do all that? And they're like, well, you know, I didn't party, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I focused on my studies. And their stuff is absolutely amazing. You're just like, geez, okay, I did something wrong somewhere. So but, you know, schools, I think, for the environment, like you said, Mark, school is a great environment. It's a great thing to do if A, you can afford it, and B, you know, you want to learn. It's a lot easier to get stuff done when you're in a place where everyone is working right. Yeah, I kind of was forced into it. Should have said no and worked for a few. Yeah, school, like higher education, like college, is not something you should be forced into at all. This is one thing I've noticed, and especially as a teacher, like, you can tell the people who are there because they want to be there, and then you can tell the people who are there because they have to be there. You know, and it's funny when you think about it. You're like, someone forced you into art. You know, and for some, you know, like, you look at it and you're like, really? They forced you into art? That doesn't make any sense. But, you know, some are like, well, I've seen people who have come in and they're like, well, you know, I don't know what I want to do, but I've kind of always drawn or painted or something like that. And so my parents just were like, you need to go to college. I don't care where it is, just go to college. And so, you know, they're like, fine, I'll go to art college. And most of the time, those people are not the ones who are awesome. And they're like, I'm here. Some of them are like, you're just like, wow, you are super talented. And they're like, thanks, but I really don't want to be here. I'm like, ugh, come on. And as a person who had to work so hard for what they got out of college, it's always funny as a teacher now to see young people with such immense, like, raw talent, and then just go, I guess I'll do something. Like, come on, man. It's like, don't squander it. Like, come on. I've even told students, I was like, man, if I had half of your talent when I was your age, I would have been unstoppable. You would not have been able to touch me at all. That looks stupid. Aren't working. All right, let's try it again. Morning, TNT. How's it going? I have met so many dudes in recent years, younger and better by a long shot. One guy, Polish dude, I think he's 30 now, started drawing seriously when he was 24. Yeah. It's crazy, you know, and that's the thing. A lot of people are like, oh, it's too late for me. I'm like, no, you can start drawing whenever, especially because I firmly believe that art is a skill. Yes, there are people who are talented in it, but to be honest, art is a skill. You can train to be awesome in art, but you have to put in the time, the effort. You have to want to be good at art. Like, that's the big difference. Like, if you don't want to be, it's not gonna happen. Oops. I think we can use that one. Alright, we'll make this one just a little bit smaller. Maybe we'll pull this one. Yeah, I'm struggling with this. Maybe it's just one. Maybe that's my problem. I should just do one. Or maybe we bring it in like so. And then we can pop it out from here. Nope. No, it's here, so there's the fold. Gonna have to do one because I only have one fold, so right, maybe just a little one like so. Okay, I think that's working, and maybe we can pull in another fold here. No. Nope, we'll just keep it there. Since it's very start, we'll just keep it there. Freaking out here. Let's go ahead and save this. Folks who say stuff like, seems to me less like they are finding excuses or just kidding, commenting on the right thing, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Oh, let's see. He's discussing good. To be fair, there are people who just like the idea of being good at something. Yeah, that's true too. But if you're, it's like if you're doing that, if you're like, yeah, I just want to be good at something, great, be good. But don't be lazy. Like don't squander that. Like be good at it, but then even if you're like, I don't really want to do this, like this is not my passion or my living, like I foresee that. But then if you are coming into a space to where it's like, all right, people are striving to do this for a living, at least give it 100%. You know what I mean? Don't just come in and be like, Don't come in and half-ass it. Because there are people who are trying to make this their livelihood, and if you are just naturally, talented in something and you have a lot of raw talent, that's fine. But don't, if you were to do an assignment, like if you were going to go to school and you got an assignment and it was like 3-week assignment and you're just like, well, I'm better than everyone else, right? And then you just come in and you did it 5 minutes before class. It's like, come on, man. At least give it the respect, Like, be good at it and then show other people that they too can be good at it. If that makes sense. So about out loud, I meant good at another thing. Everyone's good at stuff. More the idea of picking up another hobby. That's fine. Like, pick up another hobby. Like, I think that's awesome. I'm not trying to stop you from picking up a hobby. It's just one of those ones where if you are picking up a hobby, you are talented at it, don't come in and then just poop on the table while other people are like, hey, whatever, this is what, oh, I know who I'm talking about, Mark. I wasn't gonna say anything. You have no idea how upsetting it was when you're like, I'm leaving. I'm like, no, dude, you're so talented. Like that, as a teacher, like, oh, that hurt, man. I was like, no, don't do that. So much skill. You're like, nah, I'm out. I mean, for whatever reasons it was, I understand, but it's just like, this guy has it. Like, he could do so much. And Bakia he's really mad at you for sure. Good morning. Guten Morgen. Go. How'd you sleep? Good. I completely get what you're saying, but I would like to say it wasn't like that from my end. That's fair. Wasn't trying to half-ass stuff last minute as an insult. It was more like, oops, I screwed up. This is all I can get done. That's fair. That's fair. And, the thing is, it's really easy. I mean, and you see it too, like it's really easy to look at stuff in hindsight and be like, oh, this should have been better, or I could have done this, or I could have done that. There's stuff in my school career where I was like, man, I probably shouldn't have done that. For instance, like in my undergrad, I was part of everything. I was in a bunch of clubs. I was president of some. I was in the student union. Like, I was part of everything, right? Because where I came from, that's what people said. It's like, oh man, if you are, if you're part of these things, then, opportunities open to you and stuff like that. And you make these relationships and all that stuff, which is all very fine and dandy. But I was going about it in the wrong way. Like, I was looking at other people. I wasn't looking for what I needed / wanted. And so while I was going to all these things, they weren't going to help me in the long run. Right? So it's like, hey, Chris, what's up, man? It's been a minute. You stressing about school? Is that what happened? How did school go? Because you guys started, right? Dog scared himself. Always good. Yup. Yeah. How'd that go? Like I said, how is it? It's going well, actually? Nice. That's good. I'm glad. And I'm actually glad to hear that they found some extra people. So, you know, you guys weren't stuck with, you know, poor Sam teaching all the graphic design classes. I heard that they pulled in some part-timers. A lot more organized, doing it from home for some reason. What, you or you or them? Very important distinction now. Huh? I don't know. It's a good question. Pacing myself really well. Nice. Okay, good. I think you did good when we were, you know, when we had the on the computer class. I mean, I'm sure there were issues, but you know, everything was brand new. But I think I keep singing the praises of the online situation because it was like everyone was way more engaged. You know, everyone's like, all right, I'm willing to ask questions, I'm willing to do this and that. So you know, I think that this has benefits, and I think it's going to force Gesundheit. It's going to force the education system to actually look at how it's teaching. I think you're going to start seeing a lot more blended classes, and possibly even a lot more colleges trying to go with a more immersive online schooling, because I know from this college that I'm at, they did this whole SRT thing, and I don't know what the training actually stands for, but it's all like super immersive stuff. Like there's so much stuff. That's why I kind of took a hiatus on things, because I'm like, there's so much stuff to do here. And I barely had any time to actually accomplish it, which was a problem, but we working it out, you know, we're gonna make it happen. But I think that a lot more stuff is gonna happen that way, you know, immersive online training so that you can actually take it at home, because let's be honest, the youth is doing everything online, right? Like that's where it is. And if you can have a classroom setting in the online school, people will be fine. Like I am still doing, so I'm doing YouTube because I have more versatility. Sadly, I have to keep it all private. You know, they caught me on that one. They're like, yeah, because, you know, people are paying for it and stuff like that. I get it. But the thing is that I have more versatility with going through like the software that I do for streaming. So it's like I want to do that because I can give more of an immersive experience. As soon as Zoom or Blackboard allows me to do multiple cameras at the same time, allows me to do overlays, allows me to do all kinds of stuff like that, forget it. It's, you know, at that point I'm like, all right, I got this. You know, at that point I think that's where education is going to go, and I think it's a good thing. I really do. Who? They still have none of the art in common. They have no one for art in common. Your name is still up there. Didn't class already start? Didn't class start last week? Oh man, I hope that a certain someone doesn't jump in there to teach that for you guys, because that'll be the worst. The worst, because you'll be doing like papers on dead presidents and stuff, and artists that do not hold any weight to you, and how they made money and dumb stuff like that. Not that class, not yet. Okay. Man, I really wish I could have taught a character design class in a computer lab. Like, once I finally got everything together, it was just time to go. It was like, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. Got that new lab and everything, which the construction people broke a freaking Cintiq. They're like, yeah, when we moved it, we dropped it. And they didn't just drop it, they shattered it. Shattered it. It was really interesting. I came in and I'm like, yo, what happened here? And they're like, yeah, that's our fault. And I'm like, I don't think you understand just how much money this is. Like, well, you can have your people call my people. I'm like, I don't care. That's when I was cleaning out my office. I'm like, I really don't care. And just know that if they come back, that's not going to be cheap. And the thing is that I don't really know the computer lab situation here, but I already know that it is not even remotely close to the lab that I was able to establish in Norfolk State, which probably nobody's going to utilize because everyone firmly believes that you can only do art on a Mac. Because in the early 2000s, like late 90s, early 2000s, everyone, like, Mac came out and it was a computer for artists, right? So it was a bunch of graphic designers that came together and they put in a lot of time with the developers and stuff like that, and they made this really pretty, smooth, like, I mean, it was a computer for artists. Well, they coined it as a computer for graphic designers. And it was pretty. It was like, okay, this is where we're at, right? No problems whatsoever. But the problem is that PC was like, oh, wait, we can do that too, right? We can be this heavy number cruncher for all these huge programs and give you all this color, you know, pretty much all the same stuff that the Apple is going to give you. And so now you'll have even more power, right? And then, you know, Apple and its eliteness became far too expensive for most people, you know, like, I firmly believe, and, you know, you guys in the chat can correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I firmly believe that you buy an Apple or a Mac not because it's actually a superior product, but because of the status that comes with it. I have an iPad, right? You say iPad, people are like, ooh, this one's got an iPad. You know, if I go, oh, well, I have this Surface, they're like, oh, you got a Windows, like, you couldn't afford an iPad. It's like, it does the same thing, and I can connect it to everything. Not like Apple products, you have to use Apple products. Anything PC, I can plug it up to a PC and a Mac and be like, no, it's compatible, right? If you use, I mean, Adobe has worked a lot better in actually making it so you can go back and forth between Apple and Mac. And now it's a little bit easier because that compatibility issue has been addressed by Apple a lot. But before, like, if you saved something on your Apple computer on Photoshop and then you went to a PC to open it, still the same program, but one, you know, Mac on one, PC on the other, you couldn't open it. It was like, no. absolutely not. But if you went PC, so if I saved it on PC in Photoshop and then went to a Mac, it would open, no problem. But if I saved it on that Mac and then brought it back, it still wouldn't open. I was like, nope. Which ones are better to develop for? Since they are so anal about everything, their platform is very clean to develop for, i.e. it all runs the same OS with the same rules. Okay. That is true. Like I can't fight the fact that, you know, people who are designing and stuff for Apple seem to have a better time with it. But the thing is that I as an artist, as a family man, regular human, I'm not doing that. You know, and if I was like, oh well, I'm gonna develop, you know, like a game, right? Like I want to develop a game or an app or something like that. Now the programs themselves, like I forgot what program it was. I have to look it back up. But you can then export it for, you can export it for PC, you can iOS, Windows, Linux, right? And so you do all your programming in this one program, and then you just export it, and you get different files, and everything works, right? So I would be developing in something else, and then just export. So once again, don't need an Apple. And I'm not trying to take away from anyone who likes it. When I'm in school though, I do make fun of them simply because if everyone would just back off and like, what? You don't use an Apple? It's like, no, I don't. Here's why. Then I wouldn't actually make such a fuss about it. But since that elitist style is still something that's going on, I'm like, here's why. And then when you go, hey, we're gonna run 3D Studio Max or Maya, and it's like super chugging, you know, because it's not a number cruncher. PCs are number crunchers, so it's like, and they're a hell of a lot cheaper. I don't buy them. They're expensive and dumb. They are. And like I said, you know, people like it, and that's fine. Like, everyone's allowed to have their own preference. That is not at all what I'm trying to say. It's just, stop. Don't come at me, right? Don't be all like, you are just not that good. It's like, you just back off, bro. Come on. Like, there's no need to be that way. And yet there are people who are that way. You know, they just want to make you feel bad, I guess.
So there's this book that I'm going to buy from you, and it's an art book, right?
Okay.
So,
I like art books.
Yeah, it's just a prompt book that you fill in. And someone's selling it for like $2 because it's used. And the only
it's a
bad
prompt
thing
book.
is like, how much of it did you use?
Well, if it's a prompt book, it doesn't matter, right? Because it just tell you what it is.
Well, it's their places to draw inside of it.
Okay.
So
Oh
like,
man, if you wanted that, we can go to Five Below.
No, there's a specific one that I want.
Oh.
If I knew where I could find it, I can't find any stores that's selling it. So
Okay.
I have to look into it more, but it just seems cool, and I want it.
Some of them, they are, you know. The thing is, I might even start. I might actually make a prompt book because they're pretty. I mean, the thing is that they're fairly simple, right? If you can actually make it, and you're like, hey, do this, draw that. I think that it could be pretty fun. Just like, if I could do a prompt sketchbook with fantasy or sci-fi, or you know what I mean. I think that'd be cool. Character design prompt book. That might be something. So this is weird. Which is the best Kaiser experience, through Twitch or YouTube?
Funny answer.
Are you asking me? Because the better experience would be go through Twitch, because I can actually make some money. I have the ability to get subscribers that, you can drop a couple bucks. You can donate bits and stuff like that, right? So there's a means for me, and I think for the artist, the better experience is through Twitch, right? Because you are quickly, and I do mean quickly, able to become an affiliate, and then you can start making money, right? And I wish YouTube would accept that as well, because while they're like, oh, we've actually accepted the fact that you should be able to have memberships and stuff like that, right? And you're like, all right, cool. And then like, oh, well, if you're a gamer. Oh, wait. Sorry. Gotta hear this.
When we take on a mission, we must succeed or die. Our style is unique and deadly, and no one wants to suffer the wrath of the Ninja Empire.
Mondala, thank you so very much for that sub. You are now the newest member of the Ninja Empire. We are going to be switching up my emotes soon, because I thought we had an extra one, but we didn't. But I'm going to switch up the main one so that it's more Ninja Empire based, and then we're going to start doing ninjas and all kinds of cool stuff like that. So thank you so very much. Means a lot, especially as we were talking about money. But YouTube, as I was saying, because I started looking into it, right? So first, they had this thing where it was like, oh, you need this much money, this many views, right? Which was cool, because you had to prove that you needed to, or that you could actually do videos on a consistent basis. And it was like, all right, I get that, not a problem, right? But now then someone screwed it up for us all, and then it was like, oh, well, you need to do 5 gazillion hours of watch time. So you got to do 4,000 hours of watch time. Do you know what that means? Like 4,000 hours of watch time within a year, before you can become monetized. 60. So that is literally 66.666667 days of watched hours. So you have to convince the world to watch a full 66.7 days of content. And that's a lot of content, unless you're doing like clickbait stuff, like, watch me eat 15 ghost peppers and try not to vomit, and as an artist, that's hard, right? You got to get 1,000 subscribers. Hold on, my bad, I need to turn this down. So you need to get 1,000 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, right? Let's see, what is that? That's spread over different users though, right? Yes, yeah. So it's the entire YouTube system. But still, I've been plugging away. I've been doing streams. I've had late night hour streams. I've been putting out videos, right? For this entire year. So we are now up to 9 months, not full. So I guess 8 months, 8 full months. And I have 1,769 watch hours. And I have like over 400 videos up on YouTube. So, it's like, it's not easy to become affiliated. So, to make money on YouTube. Whereas, I'm sorry, I always catch your Comic-Con self-promotion poll, but I was just entertain myself listening to your video whenever I'm cooking. Oh, thank you so very much. Thank you. I have a lot of fun teaching that lecture, and I had new stuff Mandala, new stuff for this year. I was so mad. I was like, I had new content. I was gonna, so if you saw it before, I was gonna do it again. And I was like, this was gonna be great. And then Corona hit and killed any dream of actually being in front of another human being. Okay, but if you go back to Twitch, right? Twitch, to become an affiliate, to get like money, or to be able to start making money, you can run, like I have the power to run my own ads at any time. So I can be talking to you and be like, all right, I gotta use the bathroom. I'll put a be right back thing on and I hit an ad, right? 3-minute ad, bam. I just made 4 cents. But still, because I'm a small streamer, but if I had 50, 60, 70, 30, people in here, then that becomes significant every time I run an ad. But it's like, you gotta stream, I think you had to stream like a week, like 5 times. You needed to get like 5 subscribers or 5, people who were following you. Like it was almost nothing, right? You just had to prove that you wanted to do it. Then bam, you applied, you became an affiliate, go ahead and make some money, right? And so it's way easier to try and make some money if that's what you're trying to do, What's crazy is that so many people are like, I'm gonna make $1 gazillion. No, you're not, right? This is a supplemental income to where you're like, I'm doing this, like I'm drawing Ninja Empire for a project, right? So I'm not making new content. I'm making content that I need for my own self, but I just turn on the camera. So you're going, and as long as you understand that you can become rich and famous, right? But then, you have to cater to the people who want to make you rich and famous, and you got to promote the hell out of it. So there's all of those things that you have to keep in mind when doing this stuff. Also, when I said that YouTube has gone, oh, well, you can get these memberships, right? Like we can get the subscription just like what happened. You can do that in YouTube too. If you're a gamer, you only need 1,000 people, right? So you get 1,000 people, and now you can actually offer subscriptions and give out little, gifts and stuff like that, and you can use emojis. If you are a non-gamer, so they have YouTube gaming and then they have YouTube. YouTube gaming, 1,000 people, you get, not only do you get to monetize, but then you also get to have this membership. If you're not, you need 300,000 people before you can actually have that membership. That's insane. And I brought it up to like the VP. They're like, I was watching some video and they're like, hey, if you have any questions or suggestions, hit me up. Sent them. I'm like, I don't understand why someone like an artist, like me, who's drawing, chibi characters, has to wait until they have 300,000 people before they can be like, hey, do you like my stuff? Why don't you subscribe? Right? That's crazy. It's crazy sauce to me. And it never seems like you stream whenever I'm around. It's always like some non-Mandala friendly hour. When are you around? Like I do these Rise and Grind streams. Like I'm trying to do them all the time. I used to do them sporadically. I'm like, oh, I'm doing it here, I'll do it there. But with my teaching schedule being the way it is, I don't have as much time to stream. So I have to get my streams in the morning, right? Got to get those early streams, Rise and Grind. So if you're up at this time, you'll see me a lot. Yes.
Okay, so that cereal that you got for yourself, the apple or the cinnamon or
the Apple Oats one?
Yeah, the cereal one.
Uh-huh.
No, I don't eat it, so should I
What?
bring up
What?
cereal?
What do you mean? It's all gone.
It's all gone now? Because no one would eat it for so long, they would just not eat it.
Oh yeah, no, it's gone. Oh, had I known that, I would have ate it. Because I liked
Doesn't
it.
like it. Brown doesn't really like cereal.
I was like, oh, y'all don't like it? Oh, what's wrong? But yeah, no, go grab a new cereal. You are mean to yourself.
I'm kind of mad. When I burned my foot yesterday, it didn't even make a big boo. It really hurts so bad.
You shouldn't want. didn't even hurt. Like, it hurt, but it didn't. It's like, wait, what?
I don't hurt for so long, and then I just have a red dot on my foot.
Well, I enjoy watching artists work while I do my mundane job late at night, so this is a perfect stream for me right now. Nice. So the fun part is, so I'm gonna be absolutely honest with you. They're not long. Like, they're not long streams because, you know, as some of you may know, the school system is starting back up, right? And I have to make sure that my kids actually get ready for school, and I have a son who technically has to be in school by 7:30. And so at first I was going, I'll make sure that I go all the way up until like 7, right? Because that way I can make sure that he will get in and stuff like that. And he's actually pretty responsible. I can't even deny that. But I need to make sure that I'm up and running and getting him ready to go. He's already awake, right? Already doing stuff, but I need to make sure because I'm trying to be a good parent. So I generally stream from like 5 to 6:30 for the morning ones, just real quick, easy, get people going, you know, get myself going, have a good time. Whoops. What? No. So just know that these will be frequent, but they do have to be shorter just because. And when I do have a late night stream, yeah, I will have one. Generally on Fridays. Like, I have a late night stream on Fridays because it's my studio time. So I'll have a late night stream on studio on Friday. So, you know, but be on the lookout for that. There we go. This one was just way too thick. There we go, that's better. Your streams motivate me to work on my art in the mornings. It's great. Oh, sweet. I'm glad. That's the whole idea. It's like, come on now, rise and grind. Come with me. Because it's hard. I mean, I know what it was like getting up in the morning. I was like, I don't want to get up in the morning. So I get it. But, you know, if I can get up, you can get up. Especially because I'm up late anyway. So it's really hard for me sometimes. And I'll have people tell me that, like, you should be in bed. I'm like, yeah, I probably should be. But like I said earlier in the stream today, I gotta get in my drawing time because of my new work schedule. So the rise and grind happens. I'm thinking about making shirts. I think it's about time to start making shirts. And do some rise and grind t-shirt designs, see what you guys like. Not that you'd have to buy anything, but you know, getting input is always great. Always great to have input. what's better is knowing which input to actually take. Because sometimes you'll get some, as my son would say, some doo-doo advice. Like, man, that's some garbage. The important part is to know when to take the good advice and when to be like, that's pretty crappy. Like, why would you want that? Doo-doo. Because just because someone says it is untype. One of the things, that you have to realize when you're taking advice from people is that not everyone has your best interests at heart. So, where can I buy the card game at? Amazon. I'm on Amazon, and I'm not even the one selling it. So yeah, just look up Dark Legacy: The Rising. It's on Amazon. It's probably the easiest way. You can also go to Upper Deck if you wanted to, but Amazon just seems easier. That's where I send everybody. It's like, go to Amazon. You'll be fine. Save. By the way, if you're not saving, your stuff's gonna die. And you're gonna be upset. Right? And you'll be like, wait a minute, no, not all my work! Yep, and then it's gone. I'm one of those people who tries to buy from the... Okay, so I'm really bad on acronyms. FNGS. From the FNGS. Help me out. But then again, it's the COVID era from the FNGS. Help me out. FNGS. I'm old, man. Look, I'm drinking tea in the morning. Granted, it's this really cool tea cup. It says Hustle. Because one of the things that I normally do is I have a marker called Hustle Hella Hard when it's time to work. So my wife got me a Hustle cup. Friendly neighborhood gaming store. As far as what gaming store has it, that's up to them to buy it. Like, there was no big push. It was, to be like, oh, you need it. We went to all the conventions and stuff like that, and Alliance open house and all that stuff to get to get people. But in the end, it's completely up to the store if they picked it up or not. But Amazon picked it up. I was like, Amazon picked it up. That's why I always direct people, because if I've had people who are like, oh, they went to their store and they're like, hey, I want to support you, I don't want to support the store, and then the store's like, we haven't had enough interest, so no. It's like, oh, so that's the only problem. Stores, you really gotta worry about whether or not what thing they're buying is gonna actually make them money. So I mean, I think it would, but the other problem is just getting someone else to play. That's why the sets that were made from Upper Deck, right? They actually have 2 decks inside of them. So you don't even need to be like, hey, why don't you go get your own deck? It's like, hey, I have a deck, right? I thought that was pretty smart. So it was actually really smart. Something that I'm going to keep in mind for when I make my next game. My next game, which happens to be Ninja Empire. So this project is my magnum opus. Like, this is what I want to work on as my personal project forever. So So this is what we're gonna be doing, and I think, like, I was gonna. All right, fine, we won't do it that way. I think that I was trying to be like, oh well, I'll do this first and I'll do that, but it's all like succinctly going together because this is how I start my game designs. Right? Here's my game design sheet. Right? This is where it starts. Right? And so I have a book that I have a lot of my rules and stuff on, and now I just need to use this. Use these. I bought these. Right? These are just blank playing cards. So then I can put the information on the card and I can test it with my family and see how that's gonna work. Like, is this any good? It's like, oh, this was fun. Oh, that was garbage idea. Right? So I just need to actually put it together, and I'm super excited because of the stuff that I've learned with Dark Legacy and what game I'd really like. Like, I'm gonna make the game that I had intended with Dark Legacy. Like, I had an idea with Dark Legacy, but I didn't know what I wanted to do with it until much later, if that makes sense. Like, I knew what I was doing, but I didn't know until after I'd been producing it for a couple years, talking to people and what they liked and what they'd like to see, what people are interested in, that I didn't realize exactly what it was I wanted. And now I do. So now you guys are going to get the ultimate game, I think. And then I can't wait for Dice Tower to call it a detriment to the hobby again, and the worst game of whenever it comes out, which was hilarious. Hilarious how these people who don't actually make games had some very strong opinions. Very strong opinions. That sheet makes me remember how I used to geek out as a kid. I'm very excited, and with me producing like a gazillion different characters, I think that I'll have enough people to do a really immersive world, and I know for a fact it's not coming out in 2021, so I think we're going to be shooting for 2022, because I need this year I'll need 2021 to develop. And hopefully I can get some support, and I think by going through Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that, I'll actually be able to make some waves beforehand, so when I do release it on Kickstarter, I'm not going to be sitting there going, oh my goodness, please, 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 somebody. Like, please, somebody support me. That's one of the hardest ones, when you're sitting there just crying over. It's like, I just need a couple more people. You know what? Let's just leave that one. We'll leave that one. So we're almost getting to the end of this stream. Like, that is the one thing. What in the world? I'll miss out. Go away. I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, we're coming to the end of the stream today. I think we got a lot done, you know, even though I've been doing a lot of jabbering. Because for those of you who know me, I am slow and so slow. And this style has really helped me, this new, you know, squashed proportion, chibi style drawings that I've been doing for Ninja Empire has really sped up my production. So I'm really looking forward to it. When did you say your next stream might be? For sure tomorrow morning, doing another Rise and Grind stream. I don't know if I'm coming on tonight, mostly because I think my wife might want to see me. So, but definitely tomorrow morning again I will be on, because these streams really just, they wake me up, right? Tackle the day, do some artwork, be nice and happy. You know, it's just one of those ones. I think it's really cool. It allows me to get some work done, and I get to see some people, and if they're artists, they tend to start drawing with me. So, you know, it gets some people out of bed. Right, Chris? Ah! There we go. See, we almost got him inked up too. I mean, we actually drew in the character and Andy's almost inked up, and we've been at it for like an hour and a half. So I think today was a good day. And then next stream, we should be able to finish the inks, and possibly even get into the color, which I think is going to be awesome. Well, I'm glad to have caught you on stream finally. I like hanging out with artists and living vicariously through them. Come on with it. Join me. I'm glad that you were able to come in. Thank you for that subscription. Means the world to me that you'd be willing to support, you know, my efforts in making some type of artistic creation. Thank you so very much. As we move on, you'll get to see storyboards, and I'm going to be making toys. I'm going to put it up as a, you know, decision, like what should be the second toy. The first toy has to be the main character. The best I can do with my job is to get about 10 to 15 minutes of drawing every day, and that's about it. But see, it's still 10 to 15 minutes. If you keep doing that, you know, that time does add up, and the next thing you know, you've spent the equivalent of months drawing, right? The good part, or the thing that you should try and focus on, is if you only have 10 to 15 minutes, wait. Here's what you can accomplish in 10 to 15 minutes. This way. You know what? Hold on. I'm going to show you my messy desk. It's easier to... Let me get all the NDA stuff out of the way. Stuff you can't see. Alright, hold on. We're going to switch real quick to... Oh, no, not that one. This one. Hold on, I didn't have it active at all. Alright, so please excuse the messy mess, but actually, maybe we should do this instead. We'll do this. Hold on. Alright, there we go. So now we have more stuff. Okay, so 10 minutes, right? Like I said, please excuse the mess. But these are my 10-minute drawings. or 10-minute challenge drawings. Something that I tried 10 to 15 minutes long. Okay. And you know, it doesn't, because you're getting this top view and whatnot. I know that it might not look like, oh man, shut up, there's no mistakes there. There are mistakes there. And you know, and it's like, to have 10 minutes to actually draw something, you know, 10-15 minutes, you can establish something, right? Mostly I did this for conventions, right? So that I can draw something that people can have and it doesn't take me forever to do. Oh, the Skeletor, my favorite. My absolute favorite. Probably my most favorite Skeletor that I've ever drawn. And I wish I hung up my own art. Like, I like my own stuff. Like, I like it, but it's not. You know, you'll find people who, like, they put up their own stuff and they're like, I love it. Look at me. I'm awesome. Look at me. I'm not that person. And so that Skeletor, I'm like, man, that Skeletor is awesome. I really do like that one. And I like this one too. Scareglow! Scareglow! And then of course, you know, had to finish with Ninjor. But oh no, not the intro. I forget that always comes on. Don't think like that. That's jealousy and pride. I'm not hang your own work up, dude. Nah. That's just not me. It's just not. I mean, other people who do it, when you can walk by and be like, oh yeah, I did that, and it's like, oh, okay, that's sweet, you know. I get that, but me, I'd rather be inspired by other people, right? So I'll look at other people's work that I'm like, now see that right there is awesome. So if you don't like your work, first, how can you expect others to? I like the way it comes out. It's like, I like the way it comes out. You know, I'm happy with my work now. I'm happy with my work now, but I just don't feel the need to throw it up there, you know, to hang it on my wall. I'd rather put your work up, right? I'd rather have someone else's art up. You can appreciate your own work, hang it up, and then also look at others. That's true. That's true. I guess maybe if I'm like, this is it. This is the good stuff. I do have one though. I do have one piece that I really do enjoy a lot. I shall show it to you, and then I'm gonna have to get off because then I'm messing with my own schedule, which I cannot do. I have to be good about this. With this one, had I made this poster a little bigger, right? I'd get it printed out all nice and huge and stuff. Like, I really like this, you know, the first Ninja Empire poster, right? I really do enjoy this, even though now the style is completely different, which I'd have to change up. Like, this would all stay the same, right? Because all the heads, they don't really change. So this would all stay the same, but then, you know, he would have to change, the people in the background would have to change. But I really do enjoy this poster. This was gonna be my promotion poster at conventions. That didn't happen, but if in 2021 we can actually get to something, I will have this poster. Like, I really do enjoy this one. I'm projecting a bit because I have the same mentality with hanging up personal art. It's a thing, you know. I see a lot of people who do it. I see a lot of people who don't do it. And it's just one of those ones where it's up to you. Like, there's nothing wrong with it unless you go, mine is the best work, that's why I hang no one else's up. But if there's something you're like, oh man, I like this, I'm gonna, like, if I had just a ninja wall, right? You would find one of my pieces up. Like, that's just the way it would be. So, I don't know. But anyway, I got to get out of here for sure. Otherwise, you know, like I said, my planning and stuff is going to be all jacked up. So I hope for those of you who are actually on Twitch will actually stick around for my 4-cent ad so that I can try and make a little bit of money in the morning. Thank you guys so very much. The Rise and Grind stream will be happening pretty much every single day from about 5 to 6:30. We have hit the hour-and-a-half mark. It is now time to go. So once again, thank you guys so very much. If you'd like to continue talking, follow me on the Discord. The link was popping up throughout chat, and I look forward to seeing you guys at the next stream. All right, take care.